All right. Good morning, everyone. Today is July 21st, 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 5th. Yeah, July 21st. Um, Welcome to the Twilight Zone. That's what it feels like. 2020 has been crazy. Um, I decided to make a very impromptu introductory video to my new channel. It's called Austinette Speaks, and real talk, real issues, no chaser, no filter. And these are just some poignant conversations and thoughts that I have just in everyday dealing with my family, dealing with people, dealing with coworkers, just dealing with life. And I'm going to try to be real and raw and professional because I do have a professional site and I work a professional career, a job. And but again, there's some conversations that need to be held, irrespective of that professionalism and professional canon that we hold ourselves to. Basically, a little bit about me. Grew up in Alabama and spent most of my young adult years in Georgia, North Georgia, Kennesaw, Georgia, and then moved to San Antonio in 2007. And got married in Georgia, and then when I moved to San Antonio, that's where I experienced my second divorce. So I've got a lot of experience and years behind these eyes here, a lot of wisdom. Anyway, so my career path has been in higher education and also the fundamental school of life. I'm into the esoteric and I guess you would say occult lecture. I've been in the conscious community for a very long time and a devout student of it, of some of the greats like Bobby Hemmett and, you know, Baba D. Gregory, Francis Cress Welsing, Phil Valentine, you know, and even some of the newer ones that are on the scene like the brothers Blue and Red Pill and even Young Pharaoh. There's some things that he says that I don't always agree with, but there's a lot of truth and scholarship behind what he does. So anyway, going back to San Antonio. After the divorce, I landed in Mecca, Saudi Arabia, directing a female college. So I was the first African American to do so, first person to do so, direct a female college in Saudi Arabia, a vocational college. I did that for 3 years. Pioneering effort, an amazing effort. And I thank the Most High for that opportunity to be able to test my leadership skills to the fullest capacity. I worked for two different school groups in Saudi Arabia. One was an American school group, Laureate International, and the other was called ESG Interserve, which is a British school group. Came back after my 3.5 years in Saudi Arabia and traveling and doing some of the things that I could only imagine doing as a young girl growing up in Montgomery, Alabama. I came back to settle down again, or resettle in San Antonio. Took an opportunity to direct a school group in Austin, and that's what led me to Austin. So now I live outside of Austin, North Austin, in a little city called Pflugerville, or up and growing city called Pflugerville, Texas. And I currently work for a state agency. And so this whole platform is, for me, an opportunity to have some dialogue and discussions about, again, as I said, some real issues, mainly those issues that affect the melanated community, because I'm only going to speak from a perspective that which I know. And anything else to me is, I guess, a secondary source of information. You know, oftentimes when we hear things about our behaviors or patterns of behavior, it's usually in the context of people who don't look like us. So the data and the they say, whoever they are, usually aren't taking into consideration melanated people and our mores. So, and some of the things that we do are just outlandish, foolish, and we're going to talk about it. So this is what Asenet Speaks is about. Some issues might be related to parenting or just living in a multi-generational home, which I do. I live here with my mother. Some issues might be very sensitive, but we just want to be real. We want to have conversations that bring about healing and furthers the discussion to facilitate healing if it doesn't bring about healing directly. And some of the experiences are my own. I will say majority of them are, but the perspectives may be things that, you may hear perspectives from me that are shared that very much resonate with you, and you're just like, okay, I don't want to say it, but let me send this video to this person. So one of the first things we want to talk about today before I go on my walk, run, ride, because when my bike gets too heavy for me to pedal, I'm going to push that shit right up the hill. But first thing I want to talk about is the culture that is prevalent amongst very successful, ambitious women who are attractive, who are doing well. They have a tendency to say things on Facebook, and I still subscribe to Facebook for different reasons, mainly just to check out the fuckery from time to time when I'm bored. But a lot of times you'll see things on Facebook where you see another woman saying, oh, wow, beautiful. You're so beautiful, sis. You're doing really well. Go sis. Oh yeah, you the bomb. Whatever the terminology is, and I always take notice of that because I like to see black women applaud each other. I like to see black women give each other credit, support each other. But oftentimes when you look at that, you look at, and I deep delve into situations. I always look at the person who's providing the compliment, and I always look at who they're complimenting, and to see if there's a relationship, to see if the compliment is actually sincere. I know that's messed up, but that's what I do, because I am a student of life, and I look at these dynamics. And so when I see this, I'm like, okay, this is a beautiful woman giving a compliment to another woman. And I'm like, okay, that's good, right? That's always good, you want to show love. However, what I find interesting is that we're very reluctant to give a compliment to a woman whose beauty parallels our own, or is perhaps even perceived a woman to be perceived more beautiful than we are, or prettier, or more successful. It's something innate that happens, a mindset. It's like, okay, I'm gonna give kudos, a big shout out to her because she ain't as pretty, or she ain't as popping, or she ain't as this. But if she was, her ass would never hear from me. I'm just gonna scroll through like I don't see that she popping, or I don't see that she pretty, because it's okay for you to be good, but I dare your ass to be better than me. That's the attitude that appears to be prevalent in our community among successful black women. It's like, okay, you cute, and I'm gonna give you credit for being cute, but if I ever think, or if anyone ever thinks that you cuter than me, your ass won't be getting compliments anymore. So I see that a lot. It's kind of like, okay, as long as you're the underdog, it's fine. But if your ass gets up, then I'm going to ignore your brilliance. I'm going to ignore your beauty. I'm going to ignore everything about you that intimidates me, because I'm afraid of what it might mean to me if you're juxtaposed against me, or if you're standing against me. Would you be my equal, or would you be perceived better? We still have problems with that. We still have problems with success and upward mobility in terms of acknowledging it when someone is emerging or has succumbed your own success. It's hard for us to show love to people that was once here and now they're here, or they're here. It's very hard for women to do that. I don't know how it is in the male community. I'm hoping my ex-husband will shed some light on that. But with women, we can always dab up somebody below us, but it's hard as hell to give credit to someone who is in our same genre. And don't get me wrong, it's easy for a younger woman to, I'm sorry, an older woman, and I consider myself, I don't know what I am, middle age. I'm uploading chapter 46 real soon. But let's say, for example, me. It's easy for me to big up a younger woman who's in her 20s or 30s because, technically that's not necessarily my realm. That ain't even my speed. So, girl, if you fine and you cute, you got it going on, much love to you. You the bomb. You got it, whatever. But let it be someone, for example, that's 46 and fabulous and fine. How often are we stacking ourselves comparatively against that individual? And if that individual's stack is a little higher than ours, we're like, I don't see that hoe. I don't see her. I don't see her, or I'm not going to acknowledge anything about her. And I don't want my friends to either. And my man better not for sure. But, whatever. So it's kind of like we're constantly evaluating ourselves against the other woman, against the next woman. And we don't mind giving praise or props or adoration if she's seen as less adequate or doesn't stack up quite to who we are, doesn't threaten who we are. But why are we so threatened? Why are we so threatened by another woman's queendom or another woman's brilliance or greatness? There's room for all of us, and I know that sounds cliche-ish, but the fact that you pretty don't threaten my pretty. What you eat don't make me shit. We still have to understand that the underdog doesn't have to be the underdog forever. If you're truly about uplifting your own, let them climb up. Give them the space and the praise and the authority and the right to do so. It's going to happen. The first shall be last, and the last shall be first. So you're not always going to be on top of your damn game. And there are going to be times when there are those that you helped up. They may surpass you in different things. It could be education, it could be salary, it could be prominence, it could be starting a family, traveling, different things. Be okay with it. Be okay with it. Don't freaking disappear on a person just because, hey, you coming up in the game, so, before I acknowledge that, I'm just going to act like I don't see your ass. Why they do that? But, it happens a lot in the melanated community. We just need to check that. Check that. Don't worry about whether or not someone is going to threaten your status. You don't have it for real. We live in a weird paradigm where we think that things create happiness or joy or success, and they don't. And we're really consumed with the superficiality of what one looks like, in terms of really evaluating the nature of the relationship, the character of the person, and how you can benefit from being in a fruitful exchange with someone with knowledge, with wisdom, with wealth, and even power. You want to, at a certain point in your life, align yourself in relationships with people that are like-minded. They're going somewhere, they understand your perspective, and they understand the fact that you are going to attain things and they are going to attain things at different levels and at different intervals, and they're not threatened by it. They're not threatened by it. There's so many intelligent women in the world today that appear to be threatened by the fact that their peer groups are emerging. That's why they say success brings new levels brings new devils. And it's all because of that mentality of, sis, I want you to have, just don't have more than me. Sis, it's all right if you travel, but don't go places I've never been. Sis, it's good that you got somebody, but don't let them be better than the somebody I have. You know what I'm saying? Everything is in context in relation to self. And when we get outside of that, and that requires a whole level of maturity, a whole level of spiritual enlightenment that most people aren't ready for. We're shifting into that paradigm, whether we want to or not, for many of us. But there's some of us that are just going to be left the hell behind because you're still stuck on stupid. You're still stuck on self. I'm just looking in here at what's going on here. We got to work this out. But anyway, they're still stuck on self, and that's unfortunate because what the Most High has for you is for you. Whatever that looks like, it's for you. Whatever that feels like, it is for you. And oftentimes, people will find, especially women, that their circle becomes smaller and smaller and smaller because it's not about popularity. It's about who thinks like you, who can be in your tribe, who can help you when you need it. And oftentimes we'll turn people away that were a part of our tribes initially that helped us because that person has gained some sense of presence in life, some visibility in terms of a community of education and aspirational goals that they're attaining. And it's threatening to some people. And you need to check yourself with it because you're going to lose valuable friendships. You're going to lose valuable associations. And you're going to go towards something that's superficial. If you're the smartest person in the room, then you're in the wrong room. You can't experience growth in a comfort zone. So if you're comfortable around people that you're around because they have less than you, because it makes you feel good, and you the top dog in that group, you're in the wrong group. Not to say that you can't associate with those people, but you've got to be around people that challenge your status quo, that challenge your inner being, that challenge your personal and professional growth. Somebody that, puts a little fire to you. You're just good all by yourself. You're fine in the world that you live in, whether you achieve another damn thing or not. But if you're constantly circulating and creating an empire of people that you feel are less than you because you don't have to be threatened, or you protect that vulnerability about yourself so that you don't feel threatened by someone who's prettier than you. It's something to be said because everybody knows that pretty girl that always hung around ugly people. And not to say that, I can judge who's pretty or ugly, but you know what I'm talking about. When you go to high school, there's always a pretty girl, and she keep a few flunkies, a few ugly flunkies around her. They around her, for the social benefit of being around a pretty girl. And they're also around her because it elevates and reminds her of her own beauty, which fades. So just kind of think about that. Think about your social circle. Think about how you respond to people who are potentially at a mentorship level in your life. Can you learn from that person? And I hope that you can. We can learn a lot from everyone. Are they challenging me? Are they making me see opportunities and vulnerabilities that lie within myself? Are they creating in their lives? You want to be around people that create thought, opportunities, success, different things of positive value in nature. Are you around somebody that's gotten into their complacent and comfort zone? They got the same old friend group. They never going outside of anything because they're content with being the queen of that hill. And the hill never grows because they're at the top of it, and that's where they want to be. They don't want to climb anymore. They've gotten to the top of it. I'm the prettiest. I'm the most successful of this group. So none of you snitches are a threat to me. Something strange about that. I think that's a maladaptive behavior when it comes to challenging your thought, challenging your friendships, elevating yourself and your status. So that's what I wanted to talk about. That mentality, how it affects and has a negative effect and impact on your growth. You can't be on top of your game unless you surround yourself with people that, make your comfort level uncomfortable, that shakes your comfort level. It's all right to be comfortable in yourself. That's a wonderful thing. You should have that. You should strive for that and attain it. But it's one thing to say, I'm going to stay in this modality because I'm afraid of what it might mean or reveal about myself. Meaning, if I step out of this comfort zone, I might realize I'm not as smart as my peer group. If I step out of this comfort zone, I might realize, oh, she's prettier, or she's got a better body, or her skin tone is better, or whatever. Her husband, her relationship, her family life is structured better. It's a bunch of bullshit. It's a bunch of bullshit. So I just challenge you to kind of elevate your thinking. This is what this conversation is about, elevating your thinking, not calling anyone to the table or saying anything explicit, because if I wanted to, I would. But in this case, I'm just observing behaviors that are prevalent in our community. I've witnessed behaviors like this, and we need to change the way that we think so that we can grow together, right? That's real talk. No chaser, no filter. Thank you for tuning in on our impromptu introduction. And I look forward to sharing more content with you. And we're going to jazz it up a little bit. This is just me, wanting to break the ice, because if I don't start now, I'm never going to do it. I'm going to push this shit in the back burner and never come back to it. And so we'll jazz it up with an intro and an outro and all these wonderful things that happen in the video editing world. I just wanted to kind of talk off the fly on something that I've noticed just scrolling through Facebook fuckery, and just wanted to hear your thoughts on it. So if you would, drop it in the comments below. Subscribe if you would like to, share if you would like to, thumbs down, thumbs up, all that good shit. I'm not here to preach anything, so if you'd like to subscribe, that's wonderful. I'm still going to make my content regardless, because I don't give a shit, but because it's important to share. Anyway, it's been great chatting with you. It's time for me to do my walk, run, push, climb, and I'll be back with another video soon. Bye, people. Take care.